أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم أما بعد أحييكم بتحية الإسلام السلام عليكم ورحمة الله wabarakatuh. Ibu Irianti, is my voice is audible? Good, but okay. How long the time given to me, Ibu Irianti? Please unmute your microphone.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm sorry.
How long the time given to me?
Oh, you have 60 minutes, sir. Inshallah. And there will be 30 minutes as a QA session also.
Oh, 60 minutes. Yep. Around 20 minutes, yeah?
Inshallah.
Okay, but yeah. Okay, so I have to set the time. Okay. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inshallah, I will present. Let me present. Okay. Can you see my screen?
It is very clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So may Allah bless the soul of our Murabbi, Prof. Malik Badri, respected Ibu Irianti, professors, friends, colleagues. Thanks Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala for giving us this opportunity. Actually, when Ibu Irianti introduced me, actually it frightened me. Actually, actually my knowledge is not so what I call this so deep or so what I call it, so vast.
But inshallah,
Allah Akbar. Actually, this Iman restoration therapy is actually the outcome of my PhD dissertation. Around 5 years, I studied about anxiety in the early works of Muslim scholars. So its etiology and its treatment. So I go to the what I call this to the works of Al-Ghazali, the work of Ibn Ta'illah, for example. This I go to these early works of Muslim scholars. Then based on my observation, so I what I call this designed somehow like, for example, a therapy that I call Iman restoration therapy, because based on my observation, actually what they talk actually based on Iman, based on Iman. Actually, the word restoration is coined by Prof. Malik Badri. Actually, I said, Prof, based on my observation, the most important element contributions to the what they call this mental health is Iman. So actually, what happened because of whether it is loss of Iman, weak of Iman. So do we have a proper term for that? So then he coined the word restoration. We need to bring back the light of Iman, because we are born on fitrah, meaning that the potential is there, for example. So we need to activate and then to strengthen. That's our foundation of this Iman restoration therapy. So actually, it is based on IRT foundation is ABC. ABC. A stand for activating event. B stand for belief, and C stand for consequence. What does it mean? It means that whatever happened outside in the environment, it is beyond your control, but you can control your belief. This is a good news. That meaning that we cannot control something happen outside us, but the very happy news is that we can control our belief, because that belief will continue the consequence, the natija, or the what they call this what is going to happen to us, especially our emotion. Let's say, for example, this pandemic, illness, and something that triggers your stress, triggers your mental health, for example. But if you believe it as something positive, meaning that You trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the most good. How could the most good create something which is bad? This is impossible. You know, you trust him, and Allah said, I'm according to my what I call this, my servant trust. If they trust me in good way, so it will be good. If they trust me in bad way, negative way, it will be negative. So meaning that, you know, meaning that the most important thing that we need to take care is our belief. Is our belief. That's whether it will going to be positive or negative. It depends on our belief. That is the principle of ABC, and that's belief. You know, normally we say that you know, because in the West they cannot go deeper into the heart. They just limit themselves to the thinking, cognitive, for example. So they say what you are what you think. You are what you think. But in Islam, we go deeper. You are what you believe, for example, because sometimes your belief also control your thinking. What you believe, you know, your thinking will work as an automatic pilot to support your belief. So belief is very important, and that belief, the content of that belief is what is based on iman, especially in Islam. Iman. You know, when this in this hadith Jibril, when the Jibril comes to see the Prophet, Jibril asks a few questions. One of the questions is about iman, mal iman, and the Prophet answered these 6 pillars of iman. That's become the foundation. That's become the foundation. Beside Islam, ihsan, and also of course al-qiyamah or al-akhirah. Okay. So 3 pillars of this iman restoration therapy, meaning that you know, we number 1, of course, knowledge is very important. Ignorance is the mother of all problem. You know, in cognitive, for example, which is very close to Islamic, what they call it, approaches. You know, what causes mental disorders is the irrational thoughts. The irrational thought. What causes the irrationality? That is ignorance. Yeah? Ignorance. So the opposite of ignorance is knowledge. So the most important is treatment is to seek knowledge. So this is number 1. And number 2, we have mujahada, because knowledge itself is not sufficient, meaning that you have to remove all those negative in your mind, in your heart, for example. You know, sometimes these negative things are already nurtured long time, you know, starting when you are still at the childhood, for example. So then it grows. It becomes strong inside your heart. Then we need to go against this. We have to remove this, and then after removal this, we need to replace. We need to replace gradually. That is what we call riyada. Later I will define it. So these are the 3 pillars of iman restoration therapy. So the foundation is based on the reality of man, which is insan. Insan is the unity of body and soul. Body and soul, jasad and ruh. Jasad and ruh. Jasad without ruh is not insan. We call mayyit. Ruh without jasad is not insan. We call ruh. So the plus there, it makes us insan. So if I remove plus, I put minus, jasad minus ruh, then that's what death is. The definition of death is the separation of body and soul. So let's look at what is jasad. This is very important. Jasad is the physical body. Number 1, it is earthly in nature. It is created by from the soil. It is created from the soil. When we die, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. From the earth we come, to the earth we return. That's our nature. And then of course it is perishable. It will be eaten by the maggot. By the maggot. At the end it is finished, for example, because the body will. That's why, you know, the illness, this what they call this, the physical illness. The worst is death. Then when you are resurrected, there is no more illness. There is no more illness. There is no what they call this, all the physical illness, no more. You know, it's already gone. But you know, the ruh, you know, when you die, you continue with the illness until akhirah. until akhirah. That's why the illness of the ruh, the spiritual illness, is worse. It does not finish with death. It continue even after death. And then the treatment after death is very severe. That is the hell. The punishment is the hell. And then the jasad is the vehicle. You see, when I'm talking, actually not the mouth who are doing the talks, not the mouth who are doing the talk, because when someone die, the mouth is there. The mouth cannot talk. The one who see you now is not the eye, because when someone die, the eye is there but cannot see, because the one who see is not the eye. The one who hear is not the ear, because when someone die, the ear is there but cannot hear, because the body is just the vehicle. The body is just the vehicle. That's why when someone dies, someone cannot move, because there is no driver. That's the nature of the jasad. We must understand this, because especially, my concept of this Iman restoration therapy is DIY. DIY means do it yourself. You understand yourself, you manage yourself. But if you cannot manage, if the problem persists, then you can go to see the expert. But at the very beginning, manage yourself by understanding who you are. Okay. Then the ruh, we have the ruh, the spirit. The spirit is divinely in nature. It is close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, close to Allah. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. When I finish forming the body of Adam, I blew into him from my ruh. From my ruh, if you see the translation, from my ruh. So this my ruh, it doesn't mean just Allah ruh. The mufassirin do the ta'wil of this, what they call this, of this ayah, to say that why Allah say my ruh, it is lit takrim, to honor the ruh of Ibn Adam, the sons of Adam. So that's why he said my ruh as a kind of honor. That's the nature of the ruh. You see, the soil from the low, the ruh from the high. When we die, what happened to the jasad? Gone, perishable. But what happened to the ruh? It will continue the journey. We are coming from the alam ruh, and then to the home of our mother, then to this dunya, and the ruh will continue to the alam barzakh, and then ends up in akhirah. And I want to tell you, in paradise, we are going to have a new body. You have to have a new body. You're saying, the body will be molded back, but the ruh, from the very beginning, from the alam ruh, in the womb, in this dunya, until akhirah, until paradise or hell, that's the same ruh. Yeah, that's what we call I, or aku. In Malay, we call aku, or in English, we call I. That's I continues the journey. And then that's ruh is the driver. The driver. You see, I'm talking, actually the ruh is talking. The ruh is seeing, the ruh is listening, but using the vehicle, which is the body, which is the body. So the reality of man, which is I, so the camel, this is the, Al-Ghazali, he make an analogy. The body, actually, the vehicle, so the vehicle for the Arab is the camel. The ruh is the owner, the owner of the camel. So who are we? Are we the camel or the owner? So of course we are not the camel. So we are the owner of the camel. So what is, when Allah creates the ruh, what's for? It is a servant and a khalifa. But why Allah create the body? Very simple, to serve the ruh. You cannot come to the class, you cannot come to the masjid unless you bring your body. You bring your body. So the function of the body to serve the ruh. But what is happening now? Hidup dan matiku kerana jasadku. Inna salati wa nusuki, everything for our body. Actually, for our camel, you do everything for our camel. Actually, the camel is supposed to serve us, the ruh, but we become slave to our camel. One day Allah said, oh, leave your camel. Then you we are awake. You know, how could I forget? And Allah said, how you manage your camel? Oh Allah, we forget, Ya Allah. We become slave to our camel. Allah says, your place in the hell. And Allah asked the camel, the body, how your honor treat you. Oh Allah, he's supposed to bring me to you, close to you, but he brings me away from you, do ma'siyat to you. Because of the testimony of the camel, we will be thrown further into the slave. Don't blame the camel. The camel is innocent. The camel is innocent. So the problems mostly spiritual in nature. We don't deny, you know, we actually, when I discuss with Prof. Malik Bari, we are very careful that we don't deny other contributing factor, but mostly because the ruh is the driver is very important. So mostly we have to take care of the ruh. When the ruh, why it happened, the problem happened when the ruh forget its functions. It functions to be a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get close to Allah, and its position which is higher than the material, especially his body. He forget that he think that he is the body, the camel, but actually he is not the camel. He is the owner of the camel that is supposed to bring the camel to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. IRT, Iman Restoration Therapy, acknowledge other contributors, of course, without denying, but we insist that the spirituality, the ruh, play a greater role in the process of cure, or what we refer to is the iman, the belief. Let me check the time. Okay. Okay.
Brother Razak, actually, you have 60 minutes to talk. It's okay, and another 30 minutes for Q and answer. So we can have enough of you. So.
Oh, enough, yeah.
No. I mean, you have 60 minutes to present, and then another 30 minutes for question and answer session. So it will be 1 hour and 30 minutes.
MashaAllah.
We just don't want to miss anything valuable from you. So
I don't need to hurry.
You don't need to hurry, sir.
MashaAllah. So actually I miss a lot. I already skipped a lot of.
Oh, okay, don't be. Take your time. Take your time. Thank you.
So please remind me later if I come closer to the time for me to stop, please. Okay. Okay, bye. Yeah. So this is what happens in our heart. Actually, what happened in our heart, the force and the conflicts, actually between akal and the nafs, between akal and this conflict is not once a day. It's actually every moment, especially when we want to make any decision. For example, this akal in conflict with the nafs. Fitrah, when Allah create, for example, our fitrah, this akal supposed to control the nafs, and the nafs supposed to submit to akal. This is what we call peace or fitrah. And then what happened? It leads to harmony. But if the opposite, for example, the nafs control the akal and the akal submits to the desire, then this is against the fitrah. And this is zalim to the self. So this is very, very important. We always have to make sure that the akal is always in control of the desire. The desire. So this is what we call fitrah. Otherwise, we go against the fitrah. Okay, thanks. Okay. So you see, this is the heart. This is the heart. This is actually adopted from Al-Hakim At-Tirmizi, one of the Sufi. So Ustad, why your heart is circle? Normally the heart is love shape. That love shape actually is jantung. It is the heart, the physical heart. If you have problem, then we refer you to the Heart Institute. But this is spiritual in nature. There are certain layers. The first layer here, is we call al-lubbu. Al-lubbu. In the Quran, it is called albab. Ulul albab. This is the plural from al-lubbu, which is the innermost layer. So the second layer, this is the second layer, is al-fu'ad. Where is al-fu'ad in the Quran? Al-af'idata qalilan ma tashkurun. From the word fu'ad come the words fa'idah. That's the second layer. And then the outer layer is the sadr, the sadrun. Sadrun, actually sadrun because it means the beginning, the outer. So that's why when we call sadrul yaum, it means sabah, it means morning, the beginning of the day. That's why it is called sadrun, the outer layer. So the conflict between, this akar, the good force coming from inside the heart, and then it is being attacked by outside, which is by passion and desire, and of course it is being what they call this strengthened by shaitan. Of course, in Islamic psychology, we cannot deny the role of shaitan. The role of shaitan. Shaitan. At this moment, the highest award that we can give to shaitan is the master of psychologists. So meaning that actually shaitan deserve more, because shaitan, this one iblis, he studied from the time of Adam until Qiyamah. He has only one title of PhD. We have so many titles. That's why we cannot go deeper. But this shaitan, the title is only one. That is how to deviate people. You see how long the study is, how many chapters, how deep it is. So don't undermine shaitan. Don't undermine shaitan. So actually we are the one who take for granted. That's why if let's say how good your knowledge is, how pious you are, but if you are away from Allah, shaitan said no problem. It will be handled easily, because shaitan observe all the characters, attributes of even evil people, the most evil people, and the most good people, the best people. He knows, for example. But the only limitation is Allah. Allah. That's why if you are away from Allah, and if it is given permission by Allah, then finish. You are finished. That's why our fate actually is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. How good you are, how pious you are, no, actually nothing. Actually it is simple for the shaitan. And then this shaitan, he give the points to Hawa and nafs. So the fight in the heart. So actually this good force coming from inside the heart, they have weapons. The weapon is the lights. The weapon is the light. We call Nurul Iman. And then the shaitan desire, they have also the weapons. Their weapon is darkness. That's why the prophet said, one sin, one black dot. Nukita ala qalbihi nuqtatan sauda. How they attack our heart? They blacken this area, the battlefield. They blacken this in order to block the light. At the end, the light become dimmer and dimmer. That's what we call al-iman yazid wa yanqus. That's justified. Sometimes we are very excited, very what they call it, motivated in a good way, but sometimes we are not really motivated. It depends on how strong the lights in our heart. So this is actually the dynamic nature of the heart, which is what they call this, inspired by the writing of early Muslim scholars. That's why be careful with this heart, because the heart is the king. The heart is the king. The instruction of the king, the people will follow. So meaning those who control your heart will control your kingdom. And sometimes we lost our control because our heart is being taken by others, which is iblis and shaitan. So what you need to do? You need to reclaim your heart, to take in control back of your heart. This is the center of belief, the center of belief. Okay. So how to preserve, what they call this, how to preserve and maintain, for example, and also to remedize, to keep it healthy and to restore its health. So it needs knowledge as the food for the spirit. So we need knowledge as the food for the spirit. Knowledge instillment. Knowledge instillment. Number one, this is the most important. That's why, you know, in this IRT, Iman Restoration Therapy, you know, you cannot treat others unless you need to be treated first. Meaning that you must have something in order to give. You cannot pretend, for example. You know, maybe in other technique, for example, you can pretend to be good, you know, when the client see you, and then you pretend to be good, even though you have so many problems. You can, but in this Iman Restoration Therapy, no. Your success totally depend on Allah. And Allah knows your heart. If you are not sincere, don't expect it is to be successful, for example. Meaning that we have to rest our case to Allah. You know, the psychotherapists, for example, the counselors, for example, they must try to be the best servant of Allah. And then with Allah help, then we can help. We cannot pretend. You know, we need that we have, you know, we initially it start with ourselves. That's why, you know, when we what they call this test this technique, you know, I hired two counselors from Iamp. So the most important thing, I have to train them first, meaning that they have to practice first, and then they can share. Meaning that if you don't have, you cannot give. You must have first in order to give. That is very important, and that is in line with Islam. Meaning that you have to start with yourself. You cannot just wear the mask. We are now wearing a lot of mask, masking, wrapping, for example, to make people happy. Actually, we ourselves are not happy. Meaning that we have to start with ourselves. We have to make us happy first, and then automatically people will be happy with us, for example. That's somehow a little bit what I call this difficult, but Allah will help. Allah will help. The more you rest, you depend on Allah, the more help Allah will give. But once you are more confident with your skill, then Allah will lift you. Allah will lift you. Yeah. And that is very important. Okay, the true knowledge about Allah, that's number one. Then the true knowledge about self, the true knowledge about dunya, and the true knowledge about akhirat. So these are the four knowledge that we must seek. We must seek at least the fardu ain part that we must know. Okay, example, Allah said in the Holy Quran, example, ma asaba min musibatin fil ardi wala fi anfusikum illa fi kitabim min qabli an nabra'aha inna dhalika 'ala Allah yasir. No misfortune can happen on earth or on yourself, but it's already recorded in a kitab, Lauhul Mahfuz, before we bring it into existence. You know, when people sometimes, some musibah happen to the people, they feel guilty. They think that they are responsible. Actually, you know, on our part, we just do our best. We do our best. Actually, whatever happened, it is already being scripted by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So even if you, let's say, try your best to avoid something, but if Allah say couldn't, then it will happen. So meaning that, the continuation of this ayah, Al-Hadith 22nd, is that so that you cannot become despair. You cannot become despair. You must understand this. Allah already scripted everything for you. And then the continuation of this ayah also, when it is good, don't be too happy. Actually, not because of you, because it is already scripted by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So what we should do, we should just thanks Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Thank you, Allah. Alhamdulillah. So this will control us from despair, and also from arrogance, from riya, from ujub. All these are the psycho-spiritual dangerous illness. This is one example. Actually, I when I treat a case, for example, this is very important, meaning that you must emphasize that, Allah is always with you. When you have Allah, you have everything. But if you have everything, you don't have Allah, actually you have nothing. What do you want? I want strength, Ustad. So find Allah. Allah is the source of strength. I want happiness, Allah. Ustad. So find Allah. Allah is the source of happiness. Allahumma antas salam wa minkas salam wa ilaika ya'udus salam. Meaning that, find Allah, then you will be happy. What else do you want? You want to be rich. Allah is the most rich. If you have Allah, you become rich. What else you want? I want to be what they call this, alim, alim, be with Allah. Allah is the most knowledgeable. So find Allah. Find Allah. I observe some, this one student, one student, she has a problem of social phobia, and then she forced herself to ask question, and then very with shattering, difficult to finish the question. Then she sit, and then I saw a friend, doing console her. I said, sister, you are lucky to have a friends that are always with you, but you must be rational. Your friend also has duty. She cannot always be with you. Find something, find somebody, quote unquote, find someone that always with you, never leave you. So who? That is Allah. Allah never leave you. Huwa ma'akum aynama kuntum. He is always with you wherever you are. Wakafa billahi shahida. He is the most observing. Why we have this problem of riya, for example, we suffer, this source, for example, you post something, then you become hungry of people attention, then you will suffer. But if you look for Allah attention, you will not suffer this deficit of attention, because Allah is the most observing. Allah never leave you. That's the most important. That's the source of our strength. That's the source of our strength. So make sure that Allah is within your heart. Make sure that Allah is within your heart. So find some zikr. The best zikr of afdal zikri fa'lam annahu la ilaha. That's the best zikr. La ilaha illallah. So the easiest maybe istighfar, astaghfirullah al-azim, and then you can have salawat. The simple one is Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. But make sure that Allah is always in your heart. If you call me, I will come to you. My dear brothers and sisters, in this world, when you want to sit for the test, you sit. Okay, this is exam assistant. Okay, sir, please sit down. Okay, this is the question paper. You have 1 hour to answer. Okay, thank you. And then when you look at the question, you cannot answer. You blank. Sir, come here, sir. Why? I cannot answer. Can you help me? Oh, how could? This is your test. How could I help you? I can help you with condition. What condition? You go out, let me answer on behalf of you. So that is dunya. That is dunya. But when Allah tests you, Allah knows your capability. Allah knows your potential. Allah knows your limit. And then when you see the question, you cannot answer. Oh Allah, I can't, ya Allah. Please help me, ya Allah. Allah said, that's what I want. Call me. Wa iza sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qarib. Ujibu da'wata da'i idza dama. You call me, I will help you, I will guide you. Maybe that's the reason why Allah tests us. Allah Allah wants us to come back to Him. Allah wants us for us to continue remembering Him, because He is the source of our happiness. Okay, that's number one. This is very important. The most important, the foundation of iman, al-iman billah, iman billah. Okay. So then we have the knowledge about insan. Number one is between ruh and jasad. You know, I want to stress that we are the ruh. Jasad is just the vehicle for us. So if there are conflict between the needs of the ruh and the needs of the jasad, so give priority for the ruh. Give priority for the ruh, because that is your real nature. But take care of the right of jasad. Take care of the right of the jasad, because jasad also is very important. Because if jasad is sick, then we are going to be difficult also, for example. And we are going to be, we cannot pray, we cannot fast, for example, we cannot go to Hajj. So jasad also is very important, but the most important is the driver, which is the ruh. And then insan is, nature is dependent nature, meaning that we need to depend on someone, on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the difference between kasbun and takdir, meaning that we have to do our best, we have to work, but at the end we rest our case to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ustaz, which one is more important? No, actually the rukun, the pillars of tawakkul is effort, meaning that you have to work, meaning that if you don't do ikhtiyar, meaning that your tawakkul is actually not valid. It lost its pillars. So when we look at the case of suicide, why people normally commit suicide? Why people commit suicide? Based on the observation, because they lost the meaning of life, the purpose of life. You know, when these Nazis, they are being killed by Hitler, many people are being killed, and then some survive, and then even when they survive, at the end they commit suicide because they lost their meaning. Then come one of the Jewish psychologists by the name of Viktor Frankl. He introduced logotherapy. Logotherapy. Logo means meaning. Therapy is to bring meaning. In his popular statement, he said what? He said, who has why to live will strive anyhow. Who has why to live will strive anyhow. Meaning that what is why? Why is about meaning. Why is about meaning. If you give your meanings to someone, let's say for example a wife, give the meanings to the husband. How the wife give meaning to husband? I cannot live without you. Then the husband run. The husband run together with the wife meaning. So what happened to the wife? Conclusion, wife lost the meaning. So what is the purpose of life without meaning? At the end, the shaitan will intervene, and the shaitan will whisper, just commit suicide. So give your meaning to Allah. He never leave you. Ustaz, I'm away from Allah, not because Allah leave you. You are the one who leave Allah. Come back to Him. So this is actually about the nature of man. Actually, this is the basic, the foundation. We need to study further about our nature. Okay, that's the second type of knowledge that we need to seek. And then the third one is the knowledge about this world change. The world is changing. The world is temporary, and the world is a place of trial. So don't say that, I don't want to take a test. So you are at the wrong place. This dunya, a place of trial. For example, temporary, if you are sick, and when there is a beginning, there will be an ending, meaning that there is no such thing called perfection. Good, altogether good in this dunya. There is no such thing bad, altogether bad in this dunya. There is no perfection in this dunya. You know, Iblis, what does it mean by Iblis? Iblis from the word ablasa. Ablasa means what? Despair. Ablasa means despair, losing hope from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's why its name is Iblis. So because Iblis lost the hope, what the technique that Iblis used also to us by making us losing the hope. So how? What Iblis is doing? Iblis is instilling in ourselves that you must be perfect. Don't make mistake. If you make mistake, you are bad, and then you suffer. You know, this dunya, there is no perfection in this dunya. If you want perfection in paradise, be patient. You know, Scott Peck, the Prof. Malik Bari always mention the name of Scott Peck. You know, the Scott Peck, you know, his book, The Road Less Traveled. The Road Less Traveled. First paragraph, first sentence, life is difficult. Once you realize that life is difficult, then it is no longer difficult. Meaning that you just accept the fact that life is difficult, life is temporary, life is changing, and life is a place of trial, then it is not become an issue anymore. Just be rational, just accept the fact, be rational. This is the third knowledge that we must, what they call this, understand and seek. You know, actually there are many more. You go and study about the nature of this dunya. And then the last knowledge is akhirah. Akhirah is permanent. You know, akhirah is it is the real home. It is the real home. You know, you shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't be extremely sad with something which is temporary, but we should really sad when we lost something permanent. You know, if you go to, you know, when you comes to this, you know, dunya is temporary, akhirah is permanent. You go to what they call this, to the hotel. You know, don't give too much attention to the hotel. Don't furnish the hotel. Don't put cupboard in the hotel. Just stay, you know, just enjoy what you have in the hotel, you know, because what you should furnish is your real home. You should be happy to come back to your real home. But what is the problem is with us now, we furnish the hotel, we become sad to leave the hotel. What's wrong with us? Because we think that this dunya is our home. Actually, it is temporary. It is what they call this, you know, for short time. Our real home is akhirah. And akhirah is adil. You know, you will get what you deserve. You will get back all your right. And then the most important thing about akhirah that we must understand is Jannah and Nar. According to the West, you know, they study, you know, our behavior are controlled by two things, and our behavior are controlled by two things. Number one is pain. Number two is pleasure. Pain and pleasure. This one control our behavior. Why you like to do something? Because there is pleasure. Why you don't like to do something? Because there is a pain. That's control our behavior. And Allah knows best. Allah make the ultimate pain, which is the hell, and the ultimate pleasure, which is Jannah. This somehow like motivation for us to look for Jannah, which is permanent. And the more you know about Jannah, as if you want to immediately go to Jannah. So meaning that you can bear the pain or the sadness of this dunya, because you know sometimes Allah gives some pains to forgive your soul as a test for you, and then to lift up your level. Meaning that if you are patient, Allah Allahu ma'asa sabirin, and Allah will lift the level of those who are patient. That's we must understand about akhirah. That's the most important. Okay. Okay. How to use this knowledge? Now this is very exciting when I you know, discuss with Prof. Malik Badri. You know, Prof. Malik Badri, he said, he gave an analogy of a guard. You know, when you want to enter a IIUM, for example, there is a guide, the guide will check everything. So this knowledge, this knowledge is like a good guide. It will check you, whether you are bad or you are good. Then it will allow is that's the use of the knowledge. But I use a different term. I use antivirus. When you put the thumb drive into your computer, there is antivirus during my time. It scanned the thumb drive. Virus detected, need further action, delete, quarantine, ignore, move. So that's the works of antivirus. That is knowledge in your mind. Don't let the whispers come in. Don't let, for example, WhatsApp comes in. You check first. And remember, antivirus needs to be updated. Antivirus needs to be updated. So you have to update your antivirus by seeking new knowledge. And number two, as first aid kit. Maybe we are healthy now, we are okay now. Keep the knowledge in your box, in your mind, in case you need it later. So this is how the knowledge is supposed to be used, to be used. But if the problem persists, then you need to see the expert. You need to see the psychiatrist. You need to see the psychotherapist or the counselors. Those who are in authority. Okay. So this is the antivirus for thought. You can use what we call here, down here we call rationalization and also cognitive confrontation technique. Cognitive confrontation technique. Because I have experience involved in accidents. This is during my time. Coming back from work. It is raining, so then my car was hit by a drunken driver. Luckily, my car is stopped at the traffic light. It was hit on the side, and then my wife is injured. I'm pushed forward, but not injured. Then my wife is being brought to the hospital. She is pregnant at what they call this 7 months. 7 months.
Yeah.
People say is very critical. 7 months, 8 months is very critical. So then I use all the technique of psychologists, for example, to console my mind, to console my mind, my emotion. But when I'm alone, so be careful when you have musibah. Don't be alone. For example, when you are alone, Iblis will take advantage. So what is the script of Iblis? The script of Iblis. Why this thing happened to me? This don't use this. Remember, all questions have answers. All questions have answers. The only thing is that if you ask negative question, you can have negative answers. But if you have the positive question, you can expect the positive answers. The most negative question is, why this thing happened to me? And then the next sentence is, if I remember, annallahu babun min abwabish shaitan. If you use the word if after something has already happened, then you open the door of shaitan and iblis very easily. Then you become down. So what the technique I use? I use the technique of cognitive confrontation technique. I question back. Why can't it happen to you? Tell me, why can't it happen to you? It happened to others even worse than you. Then you find no answer, because that is virus, the whispers of shaitan. That's the use of knowledge, that you put into your belief. Okay, that's an example of how you use your knowledge. And then we have mujahada. What is mujahada? Which is defined by early Muslim scholars: one's act against religiously forbidden desires. One's acts against religiously forbidden desires. For example, we are insincere, then we have to change it with sincere. Just the opposite, they call al-ilaju bid-did. Al-ilaju bid-did. Treatment by the opposite. Treatment by the the opposite. In modern psychology, if I'm not mistaken, it is called reciprocal inhibition. Reciprocal inhibition. If you are sincere, you are insincere, you have to treat it with sincerity. If you are not trustworthy, the treatment is being trustworthy. And if you are not irresponsible, the treatment is being responsible. Just the opposite. Uncare, caring, selfish, and then the treatment will be understanding. There's no shortcut. You cannot find the treatment in pharmacy, for example. This is the only way according to our great scholars. So the treatment is body, soul, body, meaning that you can use the body to what they call this, to curve on the soul, to instill on the soul, to shape the soul. Once it is already shaped, what they call this, established on the soul, then it is automatically comes out into the body. So body, soul, body. Let's say, for example, you want to be generous, you have to start with giving, until giving become your attributes. Giving become your character, then automatically it will be manifested on your body. That's the process. And then we have mujahadah. We have riyadah. So what is riyadah? Riyadah is a gradual process of acquiring good habit, meaning that this is what we call istiqamah, or consistency. So it is gradual. It is consistent. It is consistent. It is like when you go for workout, for example, you go to the gym. You cannot just spend one day in the gym and then you stop. Terrible. Something bad happened to your body. For example, the same thing with the spiritual. You need to do it slowly, gradually, and it takes time. It takes time until it becomes your tabi'ah. It become your habit, it become your character. That's why, when the Prophet said the best amal is consistent, even it is little. Why? Why? Because it become your character. So there is no riya. Riya, what is riya? Riya means you are not who you are. You are wearing a mask. That is riya. We are tired, because we are wearing a mask. We don't become ourselves. So that's why the Prophet said, be consistent. What does it mean by consistent? Be it your character. Then there is no issue of riya, because it is you. For example, behind people or in front of the people, there is people or no people. That's who you are. So no issue of riya, which is the opposite of ikhlas, the opposite of ikhlas, which is very important. By considering the conditions and the needs of the patient. Of course, we need that you need to consider the condition and the needs of the patient. Okay. I told when I put this, what I call this book, Iman Restoration Therapy, I submit one copy to Prof. Malik, Alayarham, Prof. Malik, for him to to write the forward. So this is I just want to it is an honor. It is you feel different when you see even the words about you can see from Malik in his words. You see, he said, "I'm honored to write this preface to his book, Iman Restoration Therapy. Though I have not been using the term Iman Restoration, this is what I have actually been practicing with my passion for the last 60 years. As I apply my adapted version of Islamic cognitive behavior therapy in treating them, I noticed that as they gradually improve, they also gradually strengthen their iman and become spiritually optimistic about their future. Islam is not only a restricted religion of commandment, it is a holistic worldview covering all human activities, whether they are spiritual and ethical, or physical and practical, or conscious and subconscious. That is why you can rarely find a Muslim suffering from a psychological disorder whose problem is not intertwined with one aspect of the Islamic worldview. That is why this hadith, hadith Jibril, Ummul Hadith, Ummahatul Hadith, as Dr. Abdul Latif has stressed, is the proper guide to Muslim therapists helping Muslim clients. The psychic complaints of Muslim patients are related to their belief and cognitive aspect, to their behavioral activities, or mainly to their emotional interpretation and their consequent responses. It needs an astute therapist to be able to discern where the real problem lies, since these components are often mixed up. Meaning that, this foreknowledge, when you explore the emotion, the thought of your patient, you have to find where is the problem in relation to this foreknowledge. Then you can easily pinpoint, for example. You can easily pinpoint. Let's say, for example, whatever I want, I cannot get. So what is the problem? The problem that he doesn't know, he cannot separate between takdir and effort. Actually, for us, we just plan, we just do our best. At the end, result is not ours. Result is Allah. Don't bother with God business. Mind your own business. That's one example of irrationalities. After this step of Iman restoration, therapist needs to come up with a suitable therapeutic line of action that Islamize the problem at hand. Some of my patients begin to improve by simply correcting their faulty belief about the nature of Allah. They had suffered from incapacitating guilt because of some serious sins they had committed and are fearfully expecting punishment in this world and the hereafter. They live in fear until they become a depressed casualty. Correcting this cognitive belief by seeing Allah as the loving forgiver of all sins brings them to tearful submission and hope for a better ethical life. Each person is unique. Problems are quite different, and the spiritual tactics that a therapist can use are multifaceted. May Allah bless Dr. Abdul Latif for bringing my attentions to therapeutic issues that I naturally do without trying to put them in writing. Actually, based on if you follow Prof. Malik Badri, that's what he is stressing. It is about iman. It is about iman. It is about rational, being rational. It is about what I call this comebacks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Okay. How many minutes I still have, Sister Ibu Irianti?
We still have another 10 minutes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. So I think that's the right time for me to start. Actually, there are certain relaxation techniques that you can go. Let's say, for example, khawf and raja, tawakkal, about salat, for example. That's also being very important in Iman restoration therapy. So this is the book in Malay, actually published, Therapy Kesihatan Mental Simple. This is very simple. We have this is the one published by Iamp Press, Iman Restoration Therapy. This is actually this is very, very concise and very academic for those who want to look further for example. And then this is the latest one. We have a spiritual therapy, and we have also a manual of spiritual therapy that I work with my friends. I think with that I give back the floor to Ibu Renti. Yeah,
Mashallah, mashallah. I am in tears listening to the statement from Dr. Malik Badri, from Professor Malik Badri about your thesis. Mashallah, mashallah. And Dr. Aziz, if Dr. Abdul Razak, if we would like to have your books, do you know how we can get that though?
Oh, I think I need to talk with Iamp Press maybe. Okay.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, because I think that many of them would like to have the opportunity to read the book, inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah, inshallah. I am so amazed by what you have just presented, and that I believe that many participants would like to ask questions and give, to get the direct knowledge from you, the presenter today. And then there are some of them who have raised their hand. I see the Mr. Aziz from Russia. Yeah. Then you can just go ahead and ask Dr. Abdul Razak right away, directly, please. Thank you.
Yeah, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Latif Abdul Razak.
Yeah, welcome.
I was very glad to hear you, and I want to ask you two questions. First of all, I want to know, you said about questions, bad question and good questions when we are sitting with our clients, or maybe we are by own. And I confused a little bit and want to know which is bad question, which is good. You said first, why these things is happened to me. It's a bad question or what? I didn't understand. And the second question, as I heard, it was why it can happen to you. It's a good question, yeah? Can you correct me, please?
Okay, yeah. Thank you, brother Aziz. Yeah, thank you for asking. How's Russia? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Very snowy. Yeah.
Oh,
thanks.
mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Actually, when I talk about question, this is the fact, brother Aziz. All questions have answers. That's the fact. All questions have answers. The only thing that it depends on what type of question you ask. If you ask a negative question, then you can expect negative answers. But if you ask the positive question, then you can expect the positive answers. Great people, not because they are great, but they ask the right and positive question. The most positive question, this is the most positive question. When you are in trouble, when you are in problem, the most positive question is how to turn this around. If you fall, how can you stand up again? If you fail, how can you succeed again? That's the most positive question. The most negative question is, this is the most negative question. Don't ask this. Why this thing happened to me? Number one, you are not satisfied with Allah. Why means what? Not satisfied. Why me? You take it personal. Actually, all are tested. And then the answer, Allah will not answer. Shaitan will answer. Iblis will answer. Because you are stupid. You cannot learn from the past. You don't take a lesson. No, actually, Shaitan just answer your question. Because your question is what they call negative. Then the answer will be negative. That's it. I hope it is clear.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
And the second question was, I wanted to see your slides about tranquility, relaxation,
relaxation,
trainings or something else. Yeah. And your books, where we can take it to your books.
Yep.
Okay. Then maybe I can send the slides to organizers. Then they can pass to the members. Inshallah. And then I will talk with the what they call this press. For example, how to, let's say, for example, how many copies that we need. Maybe under my name, then we can get cheaper price. Let's say under the name of the author, inshallah, then you can. For example.
Okay. Barakallah. Thank you very much.
Please pray.
Very good. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Brother Aziz. Thank you, Dr. Abdul Latif, Abdul Razak, the very fine answer, wonderful answer. Can I see more people raising the hand, because I can only see one person raising the hand. If you would, you can always unmute, right away. It's okay. Anyone who would like to ask questions directly to Dr. Abdul Latif Abdul Razak, you can always raise your hand or unmute yourself. Oh, nobody else? Okay. Dr. Akil Quraish, Brother Akil Qureshi, Brother Akil Qureshi. Yeah, please go ahead and do so. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you for your wonderful talk. I have one question about the knowledge part you were talking about, and the question is, you were talking that we can't be pretending that we have knowledge, and like when we have clients and we're discussing something, and especially we Muslims should not be pretending, and we can't be wearing the mask to make people happy. And you mentioned that we should first work on ourselves and I'd say knowledge, but like how do we know like how much knowledge we get, and from this point we can be able to have a client and talk, and how do we recognize this level of having knowledge? Thank you.
Okay,
That's the
good.
question.
Very. Thank you very much, Akil, for asking the question. The name is wonderful, Akil. Mashallah. Okay. Actually, the point is the essence of that, Akil. Our sincerity, and this issue of sincerity between you and Allah. You can pretend in front of your client, for example, but we cannot pretend in front of Allah. Who make our session successful? We or Allah? Allah, right? So meaning that if you are pretending, you are not sincere, you believe that your skill is the one that make you successful. Then what? Then your skill become your God. Your skill become your God. Your knowledge become your God. Afara'aita manittakhadha ilahahu hawa. Now they depend on their knowledge. They depend on their skill. But actually, even with little knowledge, but Allah knows your sincerity, and Allah is the one who make your session successful. Allah hold the heart, for example. But of course, you need to have certain knowledge. But we cannot say that this is enough. This is not. No, actually, the more you submit to Allah, sometimes you talk. Your mouth is talking without realizing. Inspiration coming and coming, because actually we submit things to Allah. But how to do this? It cannot be done if you are pretending, because Allah knows your heart. Right? That's I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Right? You cannot say about at this level, PhD level. No, even PhD also worse. Maybe, for example, because you rely now on your PhD, for example. If you rely on your PhD, no, actually not necessary. Allah, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The more you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the more Allah will help. That is the most important. That's why our scholars, for example, before they meet the client, they make hajah. They pray 2 rakaat hajah. Even at night, they wake up at night. Even not only praying for them, they pray for their client. And even now, Western psychotherapists also, they adopt this. They also encourage for the psychotherapists to pray for their client. We are recommended, of course. We pray even for our client, because at the end, Allah is the one who make it successful or not. And we don't feel guilty, because actually we just do our best. Oh Allah, I do my best. Allah, please help. Or if we achieve what we want, Alhamdulillah. If we don't achieve, you know best Allah. That's the best thing, I think. Allah, what I call this, Allah decide for us. Then happy, you are happy. You are not stressed. You are not stressful.
Allah. Inshallah,
Okay.
mashallah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul Razak.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Razak, and thank you, Brother Akil Qureshi. Actually, I'll have a question myself, Dr. Abdul Razak, if you don't mind.
No problem. Yeah.
When you talk about the foreknowledge that we have to have, okay, and then of course that we need to also ask our clients to have this kind of knowledge, of course. And it's very similar to what Daniel Goleman said, right, about the emotional intelligence, very similar. But what I would like to point out is the fact that when we what we would like to contemplate upon who we are and what we are, and then how much knowledge we know about dunya, about akhirah and stuff like that. We need a very clear mind. We need our prefrontal cortex actually to do that. What my question is, when it comes to some of the patients who have, for example, problem with pornography, acute pornography, for example, have been doing this for a very long time, and eventually they want to do hijrah, for example. But then we know that something has happened to the aql. Okay, so the nafs has won the prince's heart, the qalb. So what are we going to do about this, Dr. Abdul Razak? Because when it is blocked, the way to get into that understanding will be a very long way to go. So if you don't mind, thank you.
Actually, the most important things for the successful of treatment is the willingness. The willingness. You see, you know the story of a person who killed 99 people in the hadith, and then he killed another one, and then he continued looking for repentance.
Right.
What moved him? The willingness. When there is a will, there is a way. That's we need to instill. That's the problem now. In school, for example, we have what we call referred client. Referred client is very difficult because they don't have willingness. The most important thing to instill willingness in there. But if they have willingness to change, that's already half way to success.
Half the healing, yeah.
Yeah. So and then okay. And then actually of course the one that fall into this, what we call this, is also about, number one is also about iman, and number two is also about chance, meaning that, so you know that you don't test your iman, but close the chance, close the chance, meaning that don't open the room. Don't open the room, because once you open the room, Iblis will take the chance, for example.
That's true.
That's number one. Meaning that besides you strengthen your iman, at the same time you should also. That's why the man who killed, he is advised what? To move from the old place to the new place. Meaning that you have to change from your character. You have to change your character. And then that's one technique. That's one technique. Another technique is that, I asked this question also to my master, my sifu, my mursyid. He said that sometimes we don't commit sins not because we repent. We don't commit sin because we have no chance to do sin.
Sure.
So, but we feel great. We feel great. We are good. Actually, we don't have chance.
Never been challenged.
Once you have chance, then you know whether you are great or not. So this what they call this sin is called isolated sins. This sin is called isolated sin, meaning that you are alone. You are alone. So the treatment, the opposite. The treatment is the opposite. So what is the opposite? Meaning that you need to do ibadah alone. When you are alone, you do ibadah. The opposite of this maksiyah. And my mursyid said this, it touched my heart. If you continue in front of the people, you are okay. Behind the people, you continue with your character. This is the sign of su'ul khatimah.
MashaAllah.
This is the sign of su'ul khatimah, meaning that if we need, then may Allah stop us. May Allah avoid us from this illness.
Amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you so much.
That's what I can answer. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Very wonderful, beautiful answer. Thank you. And I can see that there are so many questions, and one person is raising hand right now. Also, Dr. Diana Setiawati, I think. Dr. Diana, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, brother. I am the one. to emailing you, but I
Yeah,
can't
mashallah. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
thank you for
mashallah.
coming in, but I can't open my video because the background is not suitable right now.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
I would like to ask is this is a dissertation, right? For your PhD, right?
Yeah, a chapter. Yeah.
A chapter,
Mm.
yeah. How I just wondering about the methodology because it's very wonderful. Like the basic concept that we need to have that kind of things more and more, and maybe to integrate that as a concept, new concept of personality, yeah, in psychology. I think how did you come to that conclusion? Like, I mean, the step by step. Yes, please.
Actually, my methodology is what I call this library works and qualitative, meaning that I need to go
Okay.
to prime source, for example. So we set the date, for example, this is what we call early Muslim scholars. The date from which date from what date to what date.
Okay.
Then I go to the main sources, which is in Arabic, mostly in Arabic. Then
Masya
you
Allah,
know,
barakallah, you can do it. Yeah.
and then you know this is good about Prof. Malik Badri. You know, he reads sentence by sentence. He reads sentence by sentence. You know, sometimes one day we have only once a week. Let's say for example we meet. Sometimes we finish only one page only. You know, because he went sentence by sentence.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the process is, meaning that okay, the translation actually is to support, but mostly we go to the original sources. If Al-Ghazali, I go to Ihya, I go to, meaning that Kimya is Sa'adah, for example, this Abu Talib al-Makki, we go to Qutul Qulub, for example, meaning that we need to go to the original sources. This Al-Muhasibi, for example, Ibn Qayyim al-Razi, then we go to the original sources. That's how I did mine. With the help, of course, with the help of Prof. Malik Badri, because Prof. Malik Badri, this is very difficult to have the one who master in Islam and also master in the West. Very difficult to have this. Normally, we are mastered in Islam. We don't master the modern psychology. But Prof. Malik Badri, he mastered both. So this is a gift to me. This is anugerah to me. Alhamdulillah. Actually, all this blessing actually from Allah and through Prof. Malik Badri. I really appreciate. Whatever you see, that's actually reflect Prof. Malik Badri's contribution.
Inshallah. So basically, it's like a systematic literature review, yeah, with the early scholar, yeah, mashallah. How long you did that, brother? How long?
I think around PhD, around I think because sister, I'm struggling, studying BA, master, for example. Then I got married already. I'm working. So I don't need to struggle anymore. I just do is relaxly. For example, it take around 4 to 5 years to finish that studies. Don't be stressful. Yeah, just relax.
Look forward to read the book. I will find out.
Inshallah.
Yeah. There are so many. I think all of the participants would like to read the book too, Dr. Abdul Latif.
Inshallah.
Yeah,
Inshallah. We will communicate. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you. And more people, more participants raise hand right now. So we thank you, Budiana, for the question. And the next participant will be Dr. Bagus Riono. Dr. Bagus, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, Fadal. Yeah, Dr. Bagus.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can, yeah.
Loud and clear, thank you.
Doctor.
Alhamdulillah, barakallah. MashaAllah, yeah, I'm really enjoying your presentation and the message that you say to us about how to protect ourselves from the chance of doing mistake or something, of sin or whatever. That's very important. It's very straightforward and also very fundamental for us. I think that's we can say that's a preventive action, the preventive strategy
Yeah.
That's very good. And also I like the statement that you say, the importance about ilm. You said that the source of problem is ignorance. I think I agree with it too, because um, I heard that Al-Balkhi said the best therapy is ilm, to
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
knowledge. Knowledge is very important,
Yeah.
and also we in Islamic teaching, what do you call it? Well, in Indonesia, we menuntut ilmu. What did you call
Yeah,
it in
menuntut
English?
ilmu. Yeah.
Demand.
Yeah.
Huh? Menuntut
Demand.
ilmu. What is
Seek for
Seeking,
knowledge.
seeking
Seeking
knowledge.
knowledge.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Seeking knowledge is something that has to be done by Muslim. It's a wajib. So it's
Wajib.
something
Yeah.
wajib in Islamic. I mean, as a Muslim.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that are the important points that I highlight.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, inshallah.
And hope
Alhamdulillah.
we can implement it in our life.
Inshallah.
But I'm when you answer Dr. Diana's question, I haven't heard that. I mean, you didn't mention that you also cross-check with the Quran. The Quran, I mean, directly from the Quran. You said you trace back from the classical scholar, but you didn't mention that you cross-check. Did you do, I mean, when you do the dissertation, did you cross-check with the Quran?
Okay, that's the question, Dr. Bagus.
Yes, yes.
Oh, mashallah. Dr. Bagus, I didn't mention because that's understood, meaning that, you cannot go without Quran, without tafsir. Of course, you cannot go. You don't need to mention it. It is under that's the foundation. Tafsir is the foundation, and Quran is the foundation. Yeah, that's why I don't mention it because
you did that.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have one question about your model, about the model of the cult. Yeah, you put Hawa and Nafs in equal position, like you mentioned Hawa as passion and the Nafs as desire, and from what I've learned from the Surat An-Nazi'at, there's a verse that mentioned that those who will be saved in the hereafter is those who protect their nafs from hawa. Nahan nafsa anil hawa. So in that verse, I understand that hawa and nafs is two different things, and it implied that hawa is the bad one and nafs is the one who should be protected.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? I mean, comparing to your model, you put as if hawa and nafs is in one place, in one position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bagus. But this hawa and nafs, actually, this when we go to the early Muslims works, for example, so they normally they put this together. There is hawa and nafs. But actually, of course, when we want to talk about levels, of course here I don't mention about level. Then actually does not contradict what Dr. Bagus is understanding. It is a matter of going deeper. If you go deeper, then you can see the differences. Actually, maybe I don't touch into that deep, for example, about the difference between the two. But in many cases, if we read, for example, the literatures, for example, inna nafsa la ammaratun, inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu. For example, actually not because of hawa, the nafs itself, inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu, meaning that we cannot simply depend on these verses. We have to go and see many other verses and to see, for example, the consistency and everything. So meaning that we cannot jump to to the conclusion by simply getting one verse. We have to look what are there in the Quran, for example, mention the word nafs in what context, the hawa in what context, for example. That's how we do it, for example. Of course, I when I see it, I don't see any contradiction. It is a matter of deepening. When you go deeper, then you can see more detail. Then you can see levels. You can see levels. But in that model, my model, I don't go into that. What I call it. Maybe later for the next research, maybe I have to go deeper. Thank you for this remark, this highlights.
And
Sure.
may I ask the first that you just mentioned, because I am still studying also about the nafs. So if you can mention what surah and with the one that you just mentioned in nafs. Yeah.
I think please some, because this is the more Dr. Bagus. Actually, when we talk about nafs, there are 3 popular nafs. Actually, there are 7 levels of this tasawwuf. Actually, the 3 is the most popular. Number 1, the evil one, the basic. Inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu. But the middle one, that's mean we call an-nafsu al-lawwamah. An-nafsu al-lawwamah. La uqsimu bi nafsil lawwamah. Nafsil lawwamah, what does it mean? The soul that blame itself. What does it mean? Okay. It means that but you did. At the end you feel guilty, then you blame yourself. Then you do it again. That's our level of nafs. Our level of nafs. But the highest, the most stable, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutmainnah. That's the highest. So maybe when I talk about this passion and nafs, that refers to al-ammarah bisu. Al-ammarah bisu. Yeah.
Okay. Surah Yusuf, I think. Yeah, that's Surah Yusuf. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome.
Subhanallah, inshallah. Thank you so much, Dr. Bagus, for the remark and the question. Also, thank you for the excellent answer, Dr. Abdul Razak. You know what? I would love to allow everyone to ask questions because many more participants raised their hand. However, unfortunately, we don't have more time left. So again, I am so lucky to attend this session and to chair this session. Dr. Abdul Razak, we would like to extend the highest appreciation for what you have presented today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you barakah. May all of us here get the blessing as well. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for the participants who raised hand. Perhaps you can send the question to the QA committee members, and then perhaps we can try to follow up with Dr. Abdul Razak later on, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
And then thank you so much. And again, thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Razak. And then we are ready to go to the next presenter, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice meeting you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen.